Joe's offering one of the real great collections that Mecum's had the opportunity of ever offering. Really, when you walk through his Shelby collection, you're walking through the timeline and the story of Carroll Shelby, starting with the Tiger 2 and his involvement in that, and you can see the thought process in Shelby of where he was going and how that led into the Cobra.
Carroll Shelby came to visit us in October of '11. He was here about 3 hours and he really enjoyed the collection. Mr. Shelby lived 50 miles away from here, from Leesburg. And I've always admired him because I thought he was the only American that actually put the American racing cars on the world stage.
You look at Joe and he's one of those collectors that's really in tune with what he wants and the market itself. He is a great Shelby man and a great ambassador for the Shelby market. He really knows what his stuff is, and he spent a lot of time searching out and finding, you know, the right cars. There's no excuses to his cars.
The 1965 Shelby GT350, serial number 41, is really a very, very unique car. Ford approached Carroll Shelby and they wanted to race the Mustangs that they had just come out with. But for them to be able to race them, they had to build 99 of them, in essence, to qualify for the Sports Car Club of America to race them on the tracks. So the first 99 are dubbed double-digit cars.
They're part of mostly hand-built cars, so they weren't really a factory-built car. That's what really makes them that extra special and what Shelby collectors are really looking for.
This particular car is beautifully original. Shelby built these cars and they're literally just a race car on the street. Batteries are in the trunk, spare tires in the back. There's no back seats to them. It's got a 350 hypo with aluminum intake. They're just really fun cars to drive. 1967 Shelby GT350 Paxton car is an original Paxton supercharged Shelby. They manufactured 35 of them. Of the 35, there's only 19 survivors.
The true Shelby collectors, Paxton Supercharged Mustangs is one of those cars that's on everybody's list. There were so few in production and so few that ever made it. It's one of those bucket list cars for any true Shelby collector.
And it's a dark blue. They only made 5 dark blue cars. So it's a very, very unique, rare car, and it is really, again, it's a fun car to drive. The 1968 Shelby GT500KR convertible is in a special order paint yellow. They're probably one of the fewest cars made in that color combination. It's a 4-speed car, which even makes it more fun to drive. And it was just another modification by Shelby to make a faster car.
65 through 67, the Shelby Mustangs were built by Shelby. Transitioning into 68, where Ford took over the production using the Shelby name, and the KR is really part of that transition.
They were, again, battling Chevrolet, and they were trying to get a little more horsepower and make them a little faster. Carroll Shelby had discovered that they were going to come out, Chevrolet was going to come out with a car named KR, King of the Road. He jumped in first and put it on the cars and trademarked it. The very unique thing about the Boss 302 Carcraft Trans Am car, it is the only car that Ford made that is actually a Boss 302. It came from the factory as Boss 302. The rest of the Ford Boss 302 Trans Am cars were just Mustangs. That Carcraft converted, half went to Bud Moore Racing, the other half went to Carroll Shelby Racing.
And this car was really the test mule for the whole program. It's what they tested for handling, motor, everything to really build the program.
And it went to England and raced the circuit over there. And then the car was brought back, restored back, and it has been running vintage racing.
Joe's collection is the history of Shelby. That year in Trans Am racing, it was just another chapter in the Shelby book.
While I'm a Carroll Shelby Ford man, the Z06 was the car that competed against Carroll Shelby. It was Zontoff's race version of what he would sell to the general public, and they would buy and race against Carroll Shelby's cars. And because of that, that was the reason that I acquired one, was to be able to have in the collection to look and say, well, this is what Carroll competed against.
The Z06 is one of those iconic Corvettes. It's known in the Corvette circles as one of the best race cars. It's a great car, and they always have a big following on the auction block.
It's a very unique car. They only made 199 of them. It has bigger brakes, metallic brakes. It has a bigger sway bar on it. There's a dual master cylinder on it. They're all fuel injected. They're all 4-speed cars, and this particular car scored top flight in an NCRS event.
Joe's Big Block Cobra, it's a 20,000 original mile, original interior, no stories Cobra that's going to be fantastic when it hits the block.
Well, Carroll Shelby went with the Big Block Cobra because the 289 was maxed out racing the Corvette and the other competition cars, so he felt like they needed a bigger motor to be able to be competitive with them. If you compare the difference between a Big Block and a regular Cobra 289, it's like night and day. A Big Block has coil springs, it's wider, it's longer, it rides just like a new car today. It's unbelievably how smooth it is. The history is beautifully squeaky clean. It's an original white car. They only made 9% of them white. Stripe delete, there's no stripes on it. Has the original leather upholstery still in the seats. It's a 20,000 mile original car. And it just represents what Mr. Shelby wanted and put in the market in '67. So that was a unique opportunity to acquire that car, and it is a ball to drive. I've been able to enjoy them over the last 10 years, and I think it's sometimes it's better to give somebody else the opportunity to enjoy them too. Like the Big Block Cobra, they only made 350 of them, so it's time for somebody else to enjoy the thrill of that car. And you're not going to do it if somebody just sticks it in the back of their garage or their collection and they never turn them loose. It's almost like your kids getting married. You're sad to see them go, but you're opening up another chapter in your life, and you're happy for them. And I'll be happy for the new owners. Hopefully I'll be happy for the cars that found new owners, that are really good owners, that will, basically do what I have. And I really think the car collector business in principle, which is we don't really own the cars, we're just the caretakers. And we take care of them for a while, and then we pass them on. And to me, that's what I think will make me the most happy.